What's up, world? It's your girl T. Okay, so if you guys have not heard, a few days ago, Lupe Fiasco, who is one of my favorite rap artists, took to his Twitter page to basically announce that he was leaving rap. It's so much nonsense that's going on out here. If you guys are not aware, it's a bunch of mess going on in the Chicago rap scene right now. So I'm gonna break some of it down to you guys because a lot of people have been asking me what is going on, who is Little JoJo, who is Chief Keef. So I'm gonna try and break down everything in this video. A lot of this stuff with Lupe started 3 weeks ago. So 3 weeks ago, he had did an interview with Sway, and basically they were going back to his old neighborhood in Chicago, and it's a video from like 6 years ago, and basically Lupe broke down and started crying. And
wow, man, that brought tears to your eyes. What was it about that just triggered this emotion from you? Just looking back.
There's some of them dudes are dead.
Nothing's changed.
Nothing changed.
Nothing for the better.
Nah. We got CVS. Some of them kids ain't gonna make it out of it. Some of them kids ain't gonna make it out of it. And I just feel, you feel so helpless. Like, oh, that's me talking to me 6 years ago, and that stuff is the same. You just feel like you feel hopeless. No, your father was right. Your mother was right. It was like, yo, you got to get out. Stick to what you know and get out. Because if you stay here, you're going to die. And you're not going to die for anything heroic. You're not going to die for anything meaningful. You're going to die for something that is worthless. Nobody's going to remember your name. And, that to see that so real, it hurts, bro. I ain't gonna front. It hurts. It hurts a lot.
It had me in tears because I know how he feels when you are gone for so long and you go back to your old neighborhood and things didn't change. People who were once there are dead. And I had wrote this comment on that video 3 weeks ago. I'm going to show y'all the comment that I wrote. So as most of y'all know, I've been a Lupe Fiasco fan forever. And I understood everything he was saying in that Sway video and why he broke down crying the way he did. And so basically, fast forward a week after, this is probably like 2 weeks after he made that video with Sway, he was on the AJ and Angel Baby show in Chicago, and they asked him the following.
Seems like Chicago now really has a new talent of MCs, a new pool that's coming out, that's emerging. You got your Chief Keef, Rocky Fresh. What do you feel like? Is it a new Chicago that's on the scene, or do you feel like it's something that's always been there, but it's just never had that light been shed on?
I don't know too much about Rocky Fresh. I kind of heard him here and there, but I heard he just signed an MMG. I just heard Chief Keef just signed an Interscope.
Right.
I don't know. Chief Keef scares me. Not him specifically, but just the culture that he represents, specifically in Chicago. And I don't speak this about any other city because I'm not from here. But like my family lives in Chicago. So my nephews and my cousins and my friends and my people, they all in those hoods that he represents. When you drive through Chicago, the hoodlums, I don't want to call Chief Keef a hoodlum, but the hoodlums, the gangsters and the ones you see killing each other and the murdering the murdering Chicago skyrocketing, and you see who's doing it and perpetrating it, they all look like Chief Keef. They got dreads, and it's so visceral. When I seen him, I was like, oh my God, he looks just like Chicago. And then he looks like my nephew, and he could be any kid on the street. And then to hear the things that he raps about specifically, with comparing it to you open up the newspaper and there's 22 shootings this weekend, you know, and then the next day there's 3, the next day there's 4, and you know who's doing it. It scares me. You know, it scares me to see that, you know, that it scares me.
Right.
It's not fully thought out. It's not, my explanation of it isn't fully thought out, but just the initial feeling of it scares me, because and I said this when I was on the radio in Chicago at every station we did. It was just kind of like, you know, I understand where he's coming from, and I understand his struggle, and I'm not at him. I'm at where he came from, and that places like that still exist, and they incubate that mentality, and incubate that whole thing, and that incubator is working overtime right now. You know, and it's just sending these kids to slaughter. And so, you know, truthfully, that portion of it scares me. But it's always been there. We've always had that in hip-hop. We've always had that in culture.
Well, everything Lupe Fiasco said has come to pass. This past Tuesday, September 4th, there was a young up-and-coming rapper. He basically made YouTube videos. His name was Little Jojo, Joseph Coleman. The cutest little kid. I mean, just adorable. Very, very handsome. And this kid made these videos dissing Chief Keef, Little Reese, and a bunch of the dudes from Chicago, from the 300.
Morning, Robin. A war of words in the city's hip-hop community has escalated. The victim, 18-year-old Joseph Coleman, known as Little Jojo, he was shot by a drive-by shooter while riding his bike, in Inglewood. Little Jojo released this music video online that mocked rapper Little Reese, associated with the biggest star in the city's hip-hop scene, Chief Keef. JoJo's song 300K targeted Reese, Keef, and their 300 squad. Keef responded to JoJo's death on Twitter yesterday. He made light of it and wrote he was laughing. Police are reportedly investigating a connection between his comments and the death. Keef also threatened on Twitter to attack another Chicago hip-hop star, Lupe Fiasco. Fiasco had recently said those responsible for murders in the city all look like Chief Keef. Keef had recently been under house arrest for a gun charge. His raps at Lollapalooza last month contained the sound of gunshots. Another negative fallout from his 200,000 Twitter followers. Keef is claiming his Twitter account had been hacked.
So basically, there's this new music scene in Chicago called drill music. It's been going on for a while, but it's now becoming more mainstream because these big record companies are now going to Chicago to get these artists off of the street. And basically, drill music is like hood music. They talk about sex, drugs, killing people, but it's not 18 to 25-year-olds. It's young kids. It's kids who are 13, like Little Mouse. Females getting into the drill music like Sasha Go Hard, Shady, Katie Got Them Bands.
Get smoke, fuck around, don't fuck around, then you fuck around and get smoke. Fuck around, don't fuck around, then you fuck around and get smoke. I'm rolling, all my niggas rolling. 30 clip in them hollow tips, have his ass sitting there rolling. Rolling off a pill, pussy better chill. My niggas in the field, you might get killed. Pancake ass nigga, I keep this shit real. 40 hit his face, BBQ his ass like a grill. Y'all niggas ain't real, lame niggas get killed. I'm here for real, I'm doing this for real. I'm finna get on, finna do another song. Bitch calling my phone, leave me alone.
Yeah, baby on this rap shit for so shady. On my BTE, you're pretty, you're pink, that shit. The team, the team. I don't want your boy, girl, we just eat the team. And if you play crazy hoe, I'ma have to get you. And if I don't, I bet my team is cheap. So tell your man, I'm a friend. And if he's eating good, I might come back again.
So I know about a lot of this music just because a lot of my subscribers send me videos. And I'm young and I have a lot of nieces and nephews who are just not too much younger than me. You know a lot about the music because they listen to drill music. You know what I'm saying? We're in Minneapolis. We're not too far from Chicago. Damn near all my kids' families from Chicago. The projects, all that stuff. So I know a lot about how bad Chicago is, how bad it's gotten. We hear stuff all the time. I mean, it's just a shame how, like, every weekend, it's never one, like I said on Facebook, it's never 1 or 2 people getting shot. It's literally 25 people getting shot, and out of the 25 people, like, 10 people dying. You know, it's just crazy. It's to the point in Chicago where people will just kill you just to say that they killed somebody, just to say they took a life. And what has me bothered, why I'm just not tripping off this whole Democratic bullshit, is that, you know, while Obama could get on TV and say that Trayvon Martin looks like his son, and that's fine and dandy, but Obama has yet to say anything about these killings going on in Chicago. I think I've said more about the shit going on in Chicago in my videos than Obama ever has. You know, this summer has been one of the worst summers. The murder rate has gone up upwards of 50%, people are saying. Just between the month of June to August, there has been over 158 kids dead. You know, and this is not getting national coverage because, you know, this is just expected in Chicago. You know, back in 2008, we all made the videos about Darren Albert getting beat and killed on, you know, on the cell phone cam. And there was all this outrage, and the politicians came out. They said they was going to do this, this, and that. And nothing has happened since the whole Darren Albert situation. It's just another normal day in Chicago. So I understand why Lupe came out and said what he said. I understand why he said that this music is poisoning the youth. You know, I don't think he was dissing Chief Keef at all. I looked at it like Lupe was saying he was coming from a big homie point of view. Like basically telling him, like, look, this lifestyle, this stuff that y'all's talking about, it's not worth it. All it's going to get you is either going to jail for a long prison sentence or 6 feet under. You know, and instead of taking it as an OG, just telling them something, Chief Keef took to his Twitter page and basically said this to Lupe. You know, these kids, I guess they all grew up together in the neighborhood. The media is trying to make it look like it's a big rap beef. I think it's more of a gang thing than it is a rap beef. Because they never even made videos or music even responding to Lil Jojo. I don't think that you can get on camera and make videos disrespecting the entire gang. They take their gang culture in Chicago seriously, you know, and it breaks my heart that this kid was trying to find a way out the hood, hoping he would get seen by, you know, Interscope or Def Jam, and he thought the way to do it was to make diss records at an entire gang. And that just wasn't the way.
These niggas claim 300, but we BK. Be on the block, damn that every day. Posted with them 30 fucking tray. Yo, bitch, all on me, all up in my face. I told that bitch, get back, I need some fucking space. You ain't with the shit, so stop the fucking flexing. Fuck, trying to wife a bitch, they out here stretching.
The situation has just had my heart heavy, you know, because it's just ridiculous. I mean, not even a year ago, I had lost my kid's big cousin. He was killed, you know, due to gang violence and a bunch of other stuff. And it's just like, when is this going to end? You know, when I was in high school, when I was a junior, senior, I went to 12 funerals, you know, and it's just like the same thing. It don't matter if it's Chicago, if it's Minneapolis, if it's Philadelphia. And we give these cities these crazy names: Chirac, Murderapolis, Philadelphia, Be More Bodies. You know, it's insane. It's almost like we've just grown accustomed and we just think that the killing is normal. And I just think it breaks my heart to know that kids are not making it past a certain age. The mentality in the hood is messed up. People are having this mentality that you won't make it to see 18. If that's the mentality that we're telling these kids that they're lucky to make it to be 18, then most of these kids are already thinking they're going to die anyways. I think to solve the issue, we have to change the mentality of the people. A lot of people are attacking Chief Keef. They're saying that it's his fault. He's perpetuating this violence, this drill music. I don't really think you can blame one kid. I mean, the music is not positive, but you can't blame these children. They were raised in an environment, in a gang-infested environment. They were raised, they see this. You know what I'm saying? So many of my family members, my peoples from Chicago, this is the stuff that they saw every day, especially when the projects were still around. You know, they saw killings, dead bodies. The projects were horrible. And when they tore down the projects, it's almost like it kind of just festered all throughout the city now. Because it was cool when they was killing each other in Cabrini Green and in Robert Taylor's and Ida B. Wells. That was cool. But once they tore that down, all those elements are now running rampant through Chicago. And the next generation is just off the hook. They just don't care. But because people are trying to find an answer and why is this happening, I also believe it's because the parents are young. You know, myself included, we're young parents. I have a kid that's about to be 12 years old. I'm still trying to find myself. You know what I'm saying? At 30, I'm still trying to figure out my life and what I want to do, and, plus try and raise a kid who's almost as tall as I am, try and steer him in the right direction, and then also realize that there's all these outside influences. So it's hard. Chief Keef's mom is 32 and she's a grandmother. You know what I'm saying? So when you 32, you still trying to do you, that's still young. She had him at 15. That is still young. So a lot of people are like, well, where are the parents? How are they able to shoot these YouTube videos with guns and gang banging? Sad part is a lot of them parents are there at the video shoots. A lot of the parents know what these kids are doing. A lot of the parents are teaching these kids this bullshit. A lot of the parents are co-signing with it. So it don't even make no sense to even scream, where's the mom or where's the daddy? A lot of them, if they are involved, the fathers are there right alongside these kids. So the mentality in the community is just horrible. And it's just not Chicago. It's all over the country. And I'm sad that Lupe wants to leave. I'm going to post a few more of the tweets that him and Chief Keef were going back and forth on Twitter saying. So the whole thing is sad. I don't want him to leave the music industry. I'm a big Lupe fan, but I understand his heart is heavy. And I feel like that at times. And it's sad because the people who've gotten out the hood who are doing better, it's almost like you have this guilt. You know what I'm saying? You almost feel bad, like, how did I make it out? And how come it wasn't me laying in that coffin? How come I'm here? What's my story to tell? And I think that's where he feels is like a lot of guilt because you can't save everybody. You can't take everybody out of Chicago. You can't take everybody out the hood, and it's sad. It's just really, really sad. His music is positive. While it's cool to have the ratchet music, the drill music, the Waka Flockas, I also want there to be an equal balance in hip hop. You know what I'm saying? I'm not down for censorship at all, and y'all know that. I feel like people have the right to rap about what they want to rap about, but again, there should be an equal balance. You know what I'm saying? And people need to realize like a lot of this shit is just entertainment. You know what I mean? So it's crazy that a lot of these kids are feeding into that, and that's the mentality. And even the young girls now are out here making drill music. The young girls now are going harder than the guys. It doesn't help when you have seasoned rappers like Lil Wayne jumping on that track. Now he's on the track with Little Mouse, talking about smoking people. Then you have Waka Flocka and you have Kanye, you know, jumping in on Chief Keef's song, Things I Don't Like. Hip hop artists are now co-signing with this. And when Lupe says something positive, he's like, yo, we really shouldn't be glamorizing this. People want to knock him. It's like anything positive is seen as bad in our community. And anybody speaking the truth, they're a sellout, they're a bitch, they're a punk. You know what I'm saying? And it's crazy. It's just sad. I'm sad that he wants to leave rap, but I understand it. I hope Lupe does not leave. We need the positivity. There's so much negativity in hip hop. We need the positivity. We need more positive artists. We need females out here rapping about, you know what I'm saying, not getting ate out, not having their whole team ate out. What the hell is that shit about? I will never understand that. It's like young boys ain't just eating out one girl, they eating out the whole team. That's like a new thing now. So I need young girls to talk about more than just, getting ate out by a team of dudes or a team of dudes eating out their homegirls, and talk about, you know what I'm saying, having a good head on your shoulder, doing what you got to do, taking care of your babies, you know what I'm saying, even if you have a baby young, still doing the right thing. It's just insane. The music nowadays is just insane. It's so disheartening. But leave a comment. Let me know what you guys think about the whole situation with Lil Jojo, Lil Reese, Chief Keef. What do y'all think about Lupe saying that he wants to quit the rap game? How do y'all feel about that? And what do you guys think about all the killings and all the nonsense that's going on in Chicago, and why Obama has not said anything? He has not said one thing to address the violence in Chicago, and it's very disheartening. And also, what do you guys think that we can do as a community to try and change the violence? What do you think needs to be done? Do we need more fathers in the household, more women to be more selective? Do we need, more curfews, banning guns? I don't know. I'm one person. So maybe we can just kind of toss some ideas around on this video. All right. Deuces.